What's going on? Fast Turn Radio's Spreecast listeners. I don't even. Are you fast turners? Is that what I should call the fast turn group? Now that we have a group, I think we have a consistent following. We got 45 people here right now. Got about I think 50 or 60 that said they were coming on tonight. Are going to be here. So I think we got a pretty consistent following, and I'm excited. And I appreciate all of you guys being here. But I don't know. I just that crossed my mind today. I was wondering, are you fast turners? But yeah, maybe that's not the best name. We'll just go with fast turn radio listeners. Though it's not really about fast turns, nor on radio. It is what it is. So what's going on, people? Hopefully everybody has had a productive, profitable, exciting few weeks. We're getting into that time of year where we're over the summer lull, I think. A lot of people are talking about seeing the sales numbers pick back up. I know mine are starting to come back around. Uh, got in on some good Amazon flips recently, so that's helped. And it's time to start thinking back to school, definitely, because for any of you that don't know how it works here in the South, the kids get out like May 30th or so. They get out before Memorial Day, and then they go back to school August 1st. So if you guys are thinking back to school, and we're going to talk a lot about that tonight, hopefully, get some ideas. But, if you're thinking back to school, you have to have that stuff already in the works. And if you don't right now, get it going quickly. We're at the July 9th. So, if school starts August 1st, the parents are going to start the back to school shopping in the next week or two. So just a thought to keep in the back of your head. And man, I'm telling you, I'm excited about some of the wholesale deals that I've come across lately. Some things clicked with me, some ideas that I had, and I said, this is perfect for back to school. And I'm not going to share the specifics on that, but I'm hopefully going to get your wheels turning so you guys have some of your own thoughts and ideas and can do things even better than I do. And, while we're all friends and we all chat on Facebook and we help each other and we're supportive, hey, we're competitors in the end. So feel free to kick my butt. I don't mind. It's okay. It's what we're here for. Hopefully we inspire each other. We have friendly competitions, and it makes us all better sellers and makes us more money. Because in the end, though it's a lot of fun, we're here to make money. That's what it's all about. We're not doing this for free, and we're not doing it for fun. We're doing it to make some money. That being said, hopefully Donald, it looks like he's having some problems coming on, but Donald may be joining us. He's been doing some great things with bundles. He's getting into some great wholesale deals, and it's just not that hard. I signed up. Going to take the glasses off for a minute. Actually, probably for the rest of the show. It's really hard to see in these. They look cool, but they are hard to see in. All right, so it's not hard to get wholesale deals. I had one that I found the other day just by accident. I was clicking around on Amazon, saw a great product, clicked on the distributor, saw that they had lots of products, or the wholesaler, manufacturer. I don't even know which level they're at. I probably should, but I went to their site. Some of them want a lot of background information. Others, they don't really care. You can sign up right there on the web. They never ask you a question. This one was kind of in between. It was more of a, yeah, you can sign up really easily. We review your account for a few days. We'll get back to you. And they emailed me, I think the day after, or maybe 2 days after I had applied. They said, you're good to go. I placed my order. They sent me a notice saying, we need your tax information, because I did not give that to them when I signed up. So I faxed over my tax information, and just that quick, the order was released, and it should be on its way to me in the next couple of days. And that was, that was a pretty painless process, and this is going to be part of my back to school stuff. So if you'd asked me 3 days ago what I was going to do for back to school, I was still scratching my head. And I mean, I'm still up for ideas. Hopefully you guys have some ideas. If you want to share them, go for it. But there I didn't really have a grand plan in mind. I just saw that this was a decent company that I thought I wanted to be a part of. And as I started to search their site, lo and behold, they had stuff that fits perfectly into back to school. And they carried different brands plus their own brand. So, like I said, I'm not sure if they're I know they're not a manufacturer of everything they sell. So they are a distributor on some level. I think they make some of their own stuff as well. But lots of ideas. And, I got away from just the Crayola markers and scissors. That wasn't exactly where I wanted to be, but suddenly I started getting some ideas. Hey, there's other stuff out there that goes along with the back to school that is not just pens and pencils. So get creative, see what you can come up with on your own. Who's that supplier? I'd love to tell you, but I just can't remember the name off the top of my head. Oh wait, the paperwork's sitting right there, but no, I think I'll keep that one to me. Uh, I'll see. Dogs are going to start barking now. But no, so okay, so got this supplier, and I started looking through their website. And for me, what I did was I've been thinking about the Evaluate. Okay, Scan Power Evaluate. I think most of you have heard of it. Yeah, sorry, Don, you are at about 7% right now. I would like to see that come up a little bit higher if we get you on camera, just so we hopefully don't drop off. And so if I see it come up, then I will definitely get you on camera. Yeah, Randall's throwing out some stuff. Lunch bags, vacuum bags, thermal cups, water bottles. Yeah, there's backpacks. There's uh, I don't know. There's a ton of stuff. There really there's yeah, lunch boxes. Did it? Yeah, he said lunch bags. Yeah, there's lunch boxes. There's thermoses. There's all the branded stuff. You can start to make your own bundle, and that's what I want to focus on is bundling, because single items are nice, but really, I mean, if you can get in there and create a bundle, that's that's going to give you your own listing. That's going to kind of set you apart from the crowd. It's going to um, it, it's going to allow you to try some different things. Maybe some of it works, maybe it doesn't. Just make sure you are very familiar with the bundling policy. There are very strict guidelines. And that's another thing that I actually like about bundling is, unlike multi-packs where, the writing says one thing, but seller support tells you another thing, and it's gotten all kind of convoluted in my mind as to what's allowed and what's not. And you just kind of go, if it's not in writing, I'm not doing it. Bundling, it's all in writing. It's all right there for you. It says you must use this wording, you must use this in the title, you must have these kind of brands. You can't use an off brand with a name brand and put those in a bundle together, because it may be misleading to the consumer thinking that they're both under the name brand product. So, just read through the bundle policy. If anybody's got the link to that, I probably should have had that ready. If not, just if you go to Amazon or even Google and you put bundle policy. Yeah, Charlene Anderson is filling in for Darla tonight. I should have mentioned that. So thank you, Charlene, so much for producing tonight. Darla, like so many others, speaking of wholesaling and bundling, Darla is at America's Mart in Atlanta. We're on her way at least. So she's up there with a lot of other sellers, it looks like, from what I've seen in the Facebook groups, that there's quite a few people up there, talking face to face with the vendors, which I think is a great way to go. I did that a little bit at ASD, not a lot, mainly because I wasn't sure what I was doing. I was uncomfortable walking up to them, so I followed people around that were more comfortable with it, and just saw how the whole thing went down. Well, that's what Darla's doing. That's what a lot of other sellers are doing. They're in Atlanta right now, making those connections, getting the products that you can buy right there on the spot at the trade show, and making deals, making money. So it's good stuff. Now, all right, the bundle policy. Let's throw that. Oh, Charlene's got it already. Okay, I should have scrolled up. Bundle policies right up here. So read that, become familiar with it, understand what's allowed and what's not. And I don't know if they're still different. There used to be slightly different wording in the secured section, which that's what I call it, when you actually go through Seller Central to get to the bundle policy, it used to be worded a little bit differently than the non-secure kind of open to the public. So I should have checked that ahead of time. But yeah, make sure you check out both. If they're not worded exactly right or exactly the same, make sure you read both so that you are very familiar with what you're allowed to do and what you're not. One of the things that comes into play is UPC codes. So you know that the kind of the hang up on multi-packs is you're supposed to use the manufacturer's UPC code, but you're not supposed to reuse it for items in most categories. Well, bundling says, hey, you know what? Doesn't matter. You cannot use the manufacturer's UPC code from any one product in the bundle. And a bundle is anything that's 2 or more. You can make a bundle of 10 items if you want to, but you're not allowed to use the UPC code from any product inside the bundle. You have to use your own, and that's where we turn to eBay, or at least I do. I use leading edge codes where I get I don't know, 100 for $7 or 250 for like $10 or something. It's ridiculously cheap. All right, Michael Flanagan and Bob Willie, looks like they both have the links. So there's the secure link to the bundle policy. Yeah, I hate when sellers use one of the items UPCs for bundles. Yeah, you're not supposed to at all. Do not, it says very clearly, you must have your own UPC. You are not supposed to screw up the single item product by using that for the bundle. You are supposed to use your own UPC, which is kind of nice because I guarantee you nobody out there in the world is going to be able to scan your product because your UPC doesn't exist anywhere. Okay, it's not anywhere. It's this made up thing that's on a piece of paper, probably on a text form that got emailed to you. And unless you actually take the time to print out that UPC for some reason, it will never exist in a physical form. Nobody's ever going to scan it. Now, there you go. And Charlene's got the quotes from the bundle policy. Some of the other things to know are, like I said, you can't use the UPC. You have to use the word bundle. Now, some people don't know this, and I saw a post not too long ago where someone said, it's really easy to find bundles on Amazon because all you have to do is search the word bundle. Well, yes, that's true, because by policy, Amazon says you must use the word bundle in the name. So there you go. Again, Charlene's on top of this stuff. I love it. Include the word bundle in the number of items in the bundle. So if you have a bundle of 5 items, you would say bundle of 5 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can list what those items are. You can put them individually, but you must use that wording. So probably doesn't get too complicated. If I'm looking for a back to school bundle, or I'm looking for a crayon bundle, or anything like, you can just go to Amazon, start searching Amazon, and find the bundles that exist. And if people actually went by the policy, then the word bundle is going to pop right up. And you're going to be able to find out stuff that's already there. All right, Don, we're going to try to bring you on in just a few minutes here. So even though you're at like 8%, we'll give it a shot in just a couple minutes. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so, you can find bundles that way, or you can maybe use that to get ideas. And that's what I like even better. Forget just ripping off someone else's idea, but see what's out there. Look at Keepa. Go back and see if this thing's been around for a year. How did it react last year? What were the spikes? What kind of prices were you seeing last year on it? So there's a lot of ways to mine some of the data that's already there. Take those ideas, make them your own, make a slightly different variation of what's already there. Use a couple of different distributors possibly, and run some of those Amazon ads. We've talked about that over the last couple of Spreecasts. Yeah, and Charlene, I love it. Make it even better. Yes, take their stuff, make it better, make it your own, you're on top of the world. And, right now there's not a big problem with creating bundles. Now, I know Bob Willie said there's some murmurs of maybe bundles aren't going to be so easy to get into the system in the near future. Right now, it's wide open. So long as you follow the rules, you're not going to have any issues. So get in there, start looking around, start thinking. And back to school leads right into fall, leads right into Halloween. And here's the other thing. Believe it or not, we're coming up very quickly on Q4. And I'm not going to get too much into it until about August. But hey, Q4 is coming. And if you're not prepared, you're not getting your orders in, you may be left behind. You may not get all the stuff that you want. Your distributors are going to start having runs come September, October. They're going to be out of stuff. So get it in now. I have not started my orders yet, but I've got all my lists are starting to come together, and I know what I'm looking for. And I know what I'm going to be selling come Q4. I'm going to make those orders starting next month. So lots of stuff. It's time to get busy. And though we've had kind of a slow time, I basically, honestly took the month of June off. I didn't do a whole lot. My numbers suffered. I was okay with that, but that's because I knew what was coming, and it's here. It's time to get back to work. It's time to start getting that stuff in place. And some of your bundles may go under hazmat review. Now that hasn't happened often to me, but depending on the category, it may be reviewed. So if it takes 2 or 3, 4 weeks to pass hazmat review, do you really want to be sitting here in October and have that stuff being reviewed? That's rough. Yeah, Bob Willie spending close to $1,000 a day in anticipation. He's rocking it. He's already on it. And all right, let's see. John Willis, I did the same thing. One small shipment, and the rest of the month was vacation. Yeah, I just took it off. I kept some of my replens going in. I still made money, but it wasn't much. It was just enough to stay active in the world and keep up with what was going on. Oh, yeah, excellent advice. Charlene says, if you have an inkling something might be hazmat, get the MSDS now and get it cleared. And the MSDS is oh goodness, I know it's data sheet, manufacturer something data sheet. But yeah, it's very easy. There you go. Thank you. Material safety data sheet. There you go. Those are not hard to get. I used to be scared to death when I'd send something in and they said, "Oh, please send us the MSDS." I was like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know what to do with that. That's scary stuff." Okay. Most manufacturers, you can just contact them, ask for the MSDS for the particular product, they'll have it. Bob Willie, I've never seen that. Let's put that up there. I've never seen that link before, but it's coming from Bob. I trust it. So msds.com. That's probably, let's click on it, see what it has. I don't even know what it has. Oh, okay. Looks like you can search, maybe even download the MSDS yourself. So, oh, that's great stuff. Awesome. There you go. And so you can contact them. You can search around. If you have any problems, any questions, just get a hold of them. Now some of this stuff, we give a lot of information. Bob gives a lot of information. Charlene in Thrifting for Profits gives a lot of information. We're all out there, and even though Chris Green is on hiatus right now, he's the information giving master. I mean, that's all he does. And while we give this stuff to you guys, sometimes you got to do a little research on your own. So there's the link. If you have some issues, just contact them. Say, hey, I was on your site. I'm trying to find the MSDS for this manufacturer. Can't do it. Get a hold of them. Do a little work on your own. I know that's not everybody, but there's a few people that just like everything given to you. Still got to take the initiative to do some work on your own. All right, Mike Capel is asking a question. For those who have experience bundling, do you photograph the entire bundle, then smaller pieces in the bundle, or just the large bundle itself? Great question. Glad you asked about this because, yes, I definitely want to get to the pictures part of bundling, which is a whole other aspect that I think needs to be addressed very thoroughly. I do the bundle itself, and then I do the individual pieces of the bundle to just get, give a nice appearance. Give the customer a sense of what they're getting. If you just have this picture of 5 or 10 things, and it's just this mess sitting, and that's the one picture, even if it's zoomable, it's kind of a mess. But at the same time, you want the customer to initially see, I'm getting all this stuff, but then break it down for them. Okay, the main photo has to have all the components of the bundle. If that may very well be in the policy. Yeah, okay, there you go. Charlene's got the quote for us. So yeah, the main image for the bundle must include the exact product in the bundle and only the products in the bundle. Images of representative products are not permitted. Okay, and I would take that. I would have done the same thing for a different reason, which is we are visual shoppers. So if I see something is priced at $37 and there's only one thing in there, I'm going to think, really, a thing and a pack of napkins is $37. Well, no, it's the tablecloth and the party cups and the napkins and all this stuff that makes this bundle. Okay, so show the customer what they're getting in a photo, in a glimpse, so that they know right away I'm getting all this stuff. Then show them, here's the tablecloth, here's the napkins, here's the cups, here's the plates, here's the party accessories, and here's 1 or 2 pictures of each one. I think you can have up to, is it 12 photos? Something ridiculous, a lot more than I actually use. But I do want one main picture with all the bundles, and then I want the individual bundles or individual pieces of the bundle displayed. And personally, I use removethebackground.com. I just absolutely loved the results. It took about a day. I uploaded 3 pictures to them the first time I used them. Uploaded 3 pictures, and it was the kind of thing that I don't know if you guys are experts with Photoshop or not. I'm not. Okay, so okay. Charlene says you can upload up to 6 photos display as part of each listing. So 6 photos. All right. So remove the background. I'm not a great Photoshop person, and when I take something that has a little bit of white on it and I take it on a white background, I am not good at separating the background from the product, because the lines, I use like the magic wand feature and the lines kind of get blurred, and photo fuse, same sort of deal. And so, all right, let me type that out. It is called remove. Oh, Charlene, once again, all over it. Look at that. My goodness. She's got it right there. Holy cow. So yeah, removethebackground.com. So I send this stuff that is, the edges of it are white. I think I took it on a black background, but I still I couldn't get it the way I wanted it. I send this stuff off to Remove the Background. Within 24 hours, they emailed it all back to me. And, it says, if you don't like it, if it's not up to standards, and they even ask, is this for eBay? Is this for Amazon? Or for another website? So they know what the specifics are. And they will make it the 255, 255, 255 pure white background. And they're going to give you exactly what you're looking for. It's $1.47 a picture. Now, to be honest, that struck me as a lot of money at first. And then I thought about it. Okay, I'm creating bundles where I hope to make hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. I'm pretty sure I can afford $5, $10 to have some professional looking pictures. Now, yes, I took the initial picture, but I'm telling you, what they come back at you with it'll blow you away. It's amazing how well they just make everything look like a complete digital picture. It blew me away. So it's worth the $5 or $10, guys. What's that? Hopefully that is not more than one sale of your bundle. I mean, you should at least be selling at least a $10 bundle, and hopefully you're selling, $20, $30, $40 bundles if you're really, cranking this stuff out. So just consider that part of the cost of getting set up. It's a whole lot cheaper than hiring a professional photographer, I would say. Yeah. And James, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, that's the other thing. The time saving factor alone is worth the cost, because the hour to 2 hours that I might spend trying to do that, I should be able to make more money with my time than $5 in an hour. Definitely. That's just, you're doing something wrong if you value your time at $5 an hour. Uh, Maureen says she likes GIMP. That's a free online tool, free downloadable tool, lot like Photoshop, but it's free. So you can go that way too. It's not bad. It's just I'm not going to take the time to do it for the most part. Even when I got comfortable with Photoshop, I mean, I had fun with it, trying to learn the stuff a little bit, but I'm going to send it to somebody else to do. And part of being able to remove the background that it's for Amazon is they make sure it goes over that 1001 pixel size on one side, so it's all zoomable. So they get a perfectly white background, they make it zoomable. Now, I've seen, Bob was saying there's people on Fiverr that will do it for you, and I don't doubt for a second that there are people, and they probably do a fantastic job. I just can't really say from personal experience what kind of job they do. So I do know Remove the Background just knocked it out of the park. They blew me away. So that's why I'm touting them so highly. And okay, I'm going to address this question real quick. Can you make a parent-child listing of bundles? Yes, you can. It would be very difficult to make a parent-child where every child was different. Okay, so that's going to be tough. But if you make, say, a shampoo and conditioner bundle, so this is just two products that are very similar, but it's a small bundle. Okay, say you're going to have the same shampoo, and you're going to pair that with a different child, a different conditioner, then yeah, you can have XYZ shampoo, and then your child listings, and that would be your main header, and that would be your parent, and then you would have different scents maybe for like herbal scent and perfume free and outdoor scent or whatever crud they come up with for conditioner. Those could be the child pairings of the bundle. So you can do it. It's just a little more difficult in how you lay things out. Now, what you don't want to do is try to make a parent-child listing and say, a Vino bundle, and we're going to have a Vino body wash and lotion on this one, and conditioner and no washout conditioner is that one. I mean, where it all becomes separate items, really, that won't work too well. I would say keep the same consistent one piece and then add the variations below it. And Maureen's out there writing, like algebra, A plus B plus C plus D, B plus C, B. Yeah, I don't know, Maureen. You just get too smart for me sometimes. So um, that's just me personally. I would have it if I were doing one product with several pairing variations, then I would do a parent-child. Otherwise, I'm just doing individual bundles. And one thing that I did with my bundles is, because I made two listings out of the same bundle, essentially. They were just different sizes. So I just took all the key information, my keywords and my description and just all the stuff you have to type in. I just copied that over to a text file. And then when I made another bundle, I just copied the parts that were pertinent from the previous bundle, copied those into the new bundle, and I made a second listing in minutes, literally. So it was it was that was pretty cool. I was proud of myself for that thought, because that just beat trying to type all that stuff out. Yeah, write it out on paper to see relationships before you get started. Yeah, see if it makes sense. And if it's going to be too much, just simply make different bundles. It's not that hard. Copy to new product. I've never had luck using that function. I'll hit the copy to new product, and it looks to me like it's just a blank screen all over again. So maybe I'm doing something wrong with that. All right, Donald. I think that's copy to new product rocks. All right, somebody's going to have to show me how to use it the proper way. Oh, okay, that's what it is. It only works if you made the original listing. Okay, that's where my problem's coming in. Since I didn't have the original listing, I'm trying to copy it and it's not. not giving me the option to copy all the stuff that existed. So that does make perfect sense then. Yeah, I copied a new product. All right. Well, see, and that's why I do Spreecast, because you guys don't know, but I learned from you too. See? So I appreciate it. I just learned something. So there, instead of making a little text file, apparently you can just do copy to new product. Yes, the guru is learning tonight. Yes, I am well versed in the world of FBA, but I definitely do not know it all. And Maureen, since you're here and active and listening, I will tell you, I just listed something for multi-channel fulfillment. I actually did two things. Now that's kind of cool. I listed something on eBay, which you guys know I'm not a huge eBay person, but I listed something on eBay to MCF. Now, I haven't done it yet. I just listed it like this afternoon. So if and when it sells, then I'll go ahead and do my multi-channel fulfilling. I also, and you guys tell me what you think of this. I thought this was kind of cool. I came across a listing. I sent in a product. Okay, so I have like multiples of the product already at Amazon. And I happen to come across a better ranked listing for the exact same product. So yeah, I'm over here listed on one that's in health and personal care, ranked about 100,000. Well, then I turn around and I see this same product and the listing is like 7,000. But everyone was sold out, I guess, maybe. When I scanned it, I didn't realize there were two listings and there's only one seller. One seller, 7,000 item. All right, he's only got one left in stock. I said, well, I'm going to list the ones that are over here on FBA and in stock already at Amazon being sold. I'm gonna make a merchant fulfilled listing on the one that I didn't send in any on yet. And since that guy's got one on a 7,000 health and personal care, he's probably sold out already. I'll be the only lister. I'm gonna have to send it MF. I don't have any in stock, so really I'm just going to do multi-channel fulfillment from Amazon in my stock that already exists on the new listing if anybody actually orders. Now I had to up my price because I'm going to have to, I have my cost of goods, plus I got to figure in my multi-channel fulfillment listing. So I don't know if anybody will actually buy it because I've got the price pretty well jacked up, but I'm the only seller, and if somebody comes across it and they want it, then they will get a multi-channel fulfilled listing from Amazon to Amazon. And I don't know. I'm not sure if that's against the rules or not. I don't think it is. Obviously, there's not supposed to be two listings for the same product anyway. But, that was my other thought, was go ahead and call seller support and get them to combine the listings. So that's something I'll probably do later on, because really there's no reason for the two separate listings. So that's probably the proper method. But in the meantime, I thought it'd be fun just to set it up. Yeah, and Bob, that's right. It gives me more time to get the product into FBA on a better listing. And I already have some that were sent. My team member has them in hand, and I said, hold on, before you send any more on this listing, let's send it in on this listing. So she's hopefully taking care of that tonight or the maybe tomorrow. But yeah, they'll be on their way to the new listing. And yeah, request an ASIN merge. That is the proper way to go about it. But I just thought I'd have some fun in the meantime and tell you guys what I did. They would probably merge into the higher ranking listing. When you say higher, do you mean lower? Or when you say higher, do you mean higher? I never understand. To me, yeah. So the better ranking listing, I hope, is the one that they would merge to. The 100K. All right. Well, if they did that, that would just stink. But hopefully they put it on the better one. All right. And Don, just to let you know, I just clicked on you and you are coming up blank, man. I cannot see you. I'm going to try to put you on air anyway, but I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, see, we got black screen. We can't see you.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, Duane.
Yeah, we got your voice. You know what? I can hear you just fine. People can't see you, but they can hear you.
Well, that's okay. I'm not as pretty as you are anyway.
Hey, very few people are, but
I don't know what's wrong with the camera thing.
It's all right. We can, yeah. James said to turn the lights on. Yeah. So you know what? Your speed's coming up as we talk, so maybe we'll be okay. So I know you do a lot of bundling, or at least you were for a while. So do you have some tips for everybody? Anything that you've come across? What works? What doesn't? Any advice you can give us?
I really think you guys covered a lot of it, and I actually took a mini course on bundling as I was bundling. Uh, who's talking to Duane? um, and a couple of the things that I've done, and I've also made bundles that weren't so great either, but um, the things that I did with the bundling is the most important thing is those images. And I was told to make sure you use every image that you can, and Charlene said there was 6. I don't even know. And also what I did is a good trick with the images. Say you're doing a bundle that has something to do with a baking mix. You can go onto that manufacturer's website. When you get on the website, Google it, and then click on, they give you those icons on top. Click on images, and that manufacturer will have a ton of different images that you can use. Don't forget, when you're making up a bundle and people are looking at the images, the title, and the description, you're actually painting a picture for these people, because they're seeing that bundle, whatever you're showing them. So you're trying to get into the customer's brain and paint that picture. So the images are one of the most important things, and I think Charlene put down that the pixels have to be at least 1001. If it's not 1001, your pictures will not be zoomable. And I was told that if you can make your images zoomable, which they can if you do a 1001 pixel, it increases the sales rank. It's unbelievable. The other thing is that make sure that you use all the keywords that's available, whether it's in the description and the products. Use everything that you can to put up there. And if you're not that good in, say, in the description, because that's a big point, go to Fiverr, like you guys have been mentioning, or a VA, and have them write yourself up something. Send them what you're doing. Let them write copy up for you. So you can put it up there. The other thing that I like is, I was making some notes. I don't have it really here. The images, the description. Oh, the other thing is when you're making up a bundle, everybody, and this is important because I made up a bundle that was doing okay, and then I took this guy's suggestion, and what I did it just like during bamboo there with the cutting boards. I sent a code to 5 of friends and family, and I had them purchase my product. And I told them, after you purchase it and use it, please leave a review. As soon as they left reviews, I got 5 reviews. I saw a spike in sales. And then I had them all, if you scroll down far enough, there's a question and answer. That is also very good. Have them ask questions and answering, because those are also part of the search engine, where you'll have some keywords in there that'll bring your ranking up. And as far as finding bundles, and actually Duane a long time ago had mentioned this, and I use this, is that when you're putting a bundle together, whatever you're using as your primary product, make the rest of the bundle something that's convenient for your customer. Like if you're making say a cake mix, you're selling cake mix, what would make that cake mix easier to do for your customer? Well, look on the sides on what they say how to make it. If they say, well, you're going to get a mixing bowl, get a spatula, a whisk. I go to the dollar store and I'll buy a whisk and I'll buy a mixing bowl. They're $1 a piece. So for $2, I just got myself a good bundle. and now I could raise my price $4 or $5. And it makes it convenient for the customer. They don't have to go out and run out everything. They got everything right there as soon as they purchase. What is an easy way to get my account suspended?
Um,
It's not brand name.
you can actually, I don't think it's going to get your account suspended um, in any way because I know for a fact you can get Betty Crocker dollar store stuff. So
Right.
if you're
And that's what
using,
I use.
okay, yeah. Now commenting on bogus that no, what you can't do is ask family members to leave reviews to increase sales. Now, did you do that? Probably. Um, you know, it gets touchy. It really does. Because it does specifically say in policy that you can't ask people to give you reviews in order to increase your sales. I know I've seen people do it. It's yeah. I can't tell anyone to go against policy, uh, but I do agree in the fact that it does work. Um, and yes, the questions. And I'm assuming that you talked to Brad DeGraw. Is that right? 'Cause I'll give
Yes.
Brad a shout out. Yeah, I talked to him too. And if you have questions about how to make your listing better, Brad's the man. He helped me with some stuff, and he has incredible information. So, but yeah, that you start to go down a road that you probably don't want to go down, asking people to give you reviews. Now, if they choose to leave a review without your request, so be it. Um, you know, it's a fine line. I mean, really, it's just you you can't straight up ask them to do it. If they do it on their own accord, then that's wonderful, and that's gonna boost your sales. What's up, Barrington? Barrington McIntosh making the spree cast. Um, so yeah, that's there. Yeah, I assume that's the link that says you can't have people actually leave you request or reviews. So I know what you're saying, and I agree. And I'm glad that you actually did the research and found out that that works because I did not do that. I don't know if any of my products have reviews. It's just it's not something I keep up with the way that I should. But it's interesting that that boosted. And yes, questions will definitely help. There's a lot about the keywords that I'm not going to get into, I don't think, tonight. Shoot, we're already 45 minutes into this. There's a lot with keywords that you can do. And yeah, Brad said that, like each keyword that you use one time, you only have to use a word one time and it counts the same. It's not like if you load it with this particular term that it's going to make it more attractive. It's just going to treat it the same no matter what. So use lots of different words, that kind of thing. You can get the ads. Amazon ads will help get your products rolling. I found that out myself. I went from 0 sales, ran my ads, and then ended up selling over 50 of my bundles in a 2-day period. Now, that was not strictly because of the ads. I think it was boosted because of ads. And of course, the timing, because it was my 4th of July bundle, the timing worked out well also. But the ads can get things rolling. And I went from 0 rank to 3,000 rank on that bundle. And sales just flew for about 2 days. They blew out the door. The third day, I got a lot of sales. And I think I've sold one since the 4th of July. Yeah, that's just the way it goes. But I do like the idea that you brought up with the cake bowl and the mixer and the actual cake mix and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, 0 rank was no rank. Yes, sorry, I had no rank. Um, I like that idea. You're providing value to the customer, and that's actually the number one thing that a bundle is supposed to do. It's not for us, the sellers. It's for the buyers. Make it convenient for the buyers. Give them what they want. Um, put things together that make sense like that. Just don't try to sell. And I don't think you have a problem selling cake mix with a generic bowl. Um, I think it's more when you take Heinz ketchup and put it with no-name mustard and,
Yes.
try to bundle that together and go, well, it's Heinz ketchup and mustard. Well, no, it's Heinz ketchup and whoever mustard. And if it's some off-brand or even worse, and I think this is where the policy is really intended, is a PLR product. Don't take the name brand product and your no-name PLR product and try to generate sales that way. That's where I think the intent behind that policy is. That's just my guess. But yeah, customers first, Barrington. Always provide value for your buyers with your bundles. Make it about the customer. Make it convenient for the customer. Mike Lytle, a PLR product is private label rights, which is basically you taking these generic sunglasses and putting your own logo on it and turning that into fast turn sunglasses. Okay. And I say they're generic sunglasses because, side by side, here's the fast turn ones, here's scan power. Well, you can do the same thing with ketchup. And it could be, assuming it's manufactured by Heinz over here, if you want to manufacture your own from that same manufacturer, could be the exact same product, but you put your own name on it. And I am not going to get into that at all tonight. That is way beyond my comfort level. That's way beyond my knowledge base. But that is the idea behind PLR, is taking another product and putting your own label on it. Kind of like you see with CVS when they sell a CVS brand. CVS does not manufacture that. They slap their label on somebody else's. They put their label on somebody else's product. And that other manufacturer allows them to do that, obviously. They pay for it. But that's what PLR is.
No, I have to read that a little bit more, Duane, because like Natalie up here says now that it does specifically say you can offer the product for free in return for unbiased reviews. I got to read that again, because when I sell it to family and everything, I said, once you get the product and you try it, if you like it, I said, I appreciate if you would want to just leave a review. I don't say anything much more than that.
Yeah, that's why I say it's kind of a fine line, and I know what you're saying. It's up. Just take it with a grain of salt. Do your own interpretation. I can't tell you what's right and what's wrong, but yeah, there's a very fine line between, here, I'm going to give you this, and knowing you're going to get a good review, and like what Terry did, where he just sent out a bunch of stuff and said, please leave reviews.
Right.
They weren't family members. It was, and you don't expect people to really leave you bad reviews, but they might. They very well could. So again, that's where I say we can give you a lot of information, but some of this you just got to read for yourself. And that's not directed at you, Don. That's just for everybody in general.
Yeah, I understand. It's good information too.
Yeah. Okay. How do you think the bundle raises in rank when you're the only one selling that bundle? How do you think your bundle raises in rank? It raises. I know it raises in rank because when I sell them, first of all, raising in rank to me means getting better. So when I make that sale, I see my rank climb, and when I make multiple sales, I see it climb even higher. And it's great when you're the only seller because you can track it so specifically. I actually have honestly, I think it's a great thread that came out of Fast Turn Radio, where I was the only one selling a grocery item. And when it sold, I was tracking with Camel. Here's the sale this day, and like 2 days later, you would see the spike on Camel. And the rank, this blew me away. That item, and I tracked this day after day after day. When I sold one a day, it would spike up to about 20,000 in grocery. So I'll tell you right here that as of this summer, at least, this does not apply to any other time of year because who knows when it's up or down. But during the summer, when I had one sale a day in grocery, it was ranked about 20,000 in the morning. Okay? By that afternoon or that evening, when I would check it at the end of the day, it would rank around 42 to 45,000. So it would fall throughout the day, which is funny because if you scan that item first thing in the morning, it's going to look like, pretty solid, sells one a day. You scan it later in the afternoon where it's at like 40,000, you're going to go, I don't know, depends on competition. It probably sells one every couple of days, but it raised and fell that dramatically. And at least for that that product, that time period, it was like clockwork. When it sold during the day, the next morning, shot up. Fell all throughout the day. Even if I sold one, I'd sold them during the day. Next morning, it would shoot up. So it was it was pretty funny. But that'll give you an idea of just how one sale can affect rank. The camel chart seemed to follow about 2 days later. So the sale would be on the first, and camel would have a spike on the third, and then you'd see it fall off and spike up. Anyway, if anybody wants to read it, it's in the files on Fast Turn Radio. You can check it out. If you guys need a link, hit me up. I'll send you the link to it. Anyway, a little off topic there. Sorry. Got sidetracked. Go figure. It's me. All right. So what did we have any other? Oh, are you still in compliance? And I love this question because this is one of the examples I use. Are you still in compliance if they are different brands, just not generic, like mixing bowl by company A with cake mix by company B? I say absolutely, because I think you can to stick with the ketchup, you can take Heinz ketchup and put it with French's mustard and have no problem whatsoever. Two different brands, both national brands, both put together, but clearly marked Heinz ketchup, French's mustard. What they don't want is for you to put the name brand first and have the generic so that it looks like it's made by the name brand. So no, you have no problem putting a name brand with a name brand. So yeah, if you want Wolfgang Puck mixing bowls and Betty Crocker cake mix, I can't imagine for a second that Amazon's going to give you a hard time about that. Yeah, comparable brands. Exactly. Well stated, Ron. Ron Lauterbach said comparable brands. Yeah, make sure they are complementary and comparable. You got no problems. And Don, you gave us a lot of great tips, and I appreciate that. More food for thought. Do some simple little things, adding value, but still separating yourself from everybody else, and kind of making just a cake and frosting, just a couple bucks more. You throw in a whisk, you throw in a bowl, and now it's not just cake and frosting. Now it's a gift set. Okay, and you could cellophane wrap that and make it look all nice and pretty if you wanted to. But I mean, you've gone from just buying something to a gift. Yeah, and you could have wipes and diapers. See, I like that because there's a lot of people always having babies. Baby showers are plentiful, especially my wife. She works in a school, and we're forever buying wipes and diapers for people. So why not take diapers and wipes and maybe even a diaper bag, and there's your bundle. So it doesn't just have to be wipes and a diaper. You can put it with a wipe warmer, just something to make it a gift worthy thing versus just something I'm going to buy together. And yeah, baby shampoo with a baby lotion, with a baby conditioner, whatever. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So that's I think that's some good food for thought. We're not even going to get into the Kohl's flip. Man, I was excited about my Kohl's flip too. I learned something about all that. I didn't realize how much money there was to be made with Kohl's flips and dollars and all that good stuff, but I guess that'll be for next week. All right, if the items in your bundle sell well individually, then there's a good chance they will sell together in a bundle. You're selling convenience. Absolutely. One of my favorite things to do is find two things that are well ranked individually and slap them together. And yeah, I think it's not like you're going to lose momentum because you just made a bundle of something people are buying anyway. And that plays right into the customers who bought this. Bundle ideas are plentiful right there on Amazon. They're telling you what customers are buying together. So if you just want to go the real super lazy way, which I've done, just take customers who bought this, also bought this. There's your bundle. All right, talk about the Kohl's flip. I just got a 30% coupon I can use. We don't have time to get into the Kohl's flip. I don't have time to get into it. It's just all about the stacking and finding deals. I didn't expect this to go so long tonight. I thought we'd be done by like 8:15. I'd be out of stuff to say. All right, Mike is asking, With bundling, you give the consumer value, but at the same time, you are offering convenience. How should you price accordingly? Oh, excellent question. Don, I'm going to let you take that one. You've done more bundles than I have. Um, how do you price?
I don't think there's any wrong or right answer. If I add, say, $3 to a bundle, and I could be the only seller and still make more than what I was making with all that competition, if I could just go ahead and add, you can just add the $3 to the price. So you're still ahead of the game because now you're going to be selling it all, and you're only you got the buy box 100% of the time. Because, like Duane says, I'm trying to add value. I'm not trying to make that much more money on a bundle. I'm just trying to distance myself from the competition and make the same amount of money.
Yeah, Charlene puts up something interesting there. She says, I have 4 craft things that sell for $20 each, but I bundle them together and sell for $99.99.
Yeah.
Perceived value. So, hey, maybe we're doing it wrong. Because, yeah, I tend to do the same thing. If it sells
Good
for
job.
$10, yeah, if this part sells for 10 and that one sells for 12, I might put those two together and sell them for 20 because I figure I'll give the customer a price break. I'm going to save, at least $1 on the pick and pack fees anyway, pass it along to the customer. But hey, Charlene's the master of this stuff. She does a lot of it. So there's advice from her. So lots of ways to lots of angles to come from. And I saw one today that somebody just bundled a couple of things that were well ranked, like really well, like top 100 ranked, and they took 2 items, put those together, and they're the only seller ranked around 3,000. And these are, this is in a major category, so at 3,000 only seller, even if I'm making, it was dollar for dollar almost identical. It was like one sells for 10, two sells for 20. So dollar for dollar identical. But somebody out there went from, hey, there's 50 sellers on the item over here and 50 sellers on the item over there. Now I'm going to put them both together. I'm still going to blow them out the door. Going to make all the money, but it's all coming to me. I don't have to share it with all those other people. So just something else to think about. And it's incredible when you start. And I'm not a creative person at all, but I started looking around and I went, man, there's just opportunity abound. And you gave us some great ideas, Don. Hopefully, I've given a couple of ideas. Charlene's been awesome, giving out tons of advice and ideas. So I appreciate you coming on and Charlene being here. And can you believe it's 9 o'clock already? I feel like I'm just getting warmed up. I got it. The Coles thing. It was so cool. They're sitting out in my garage now, like the final part of this whole big deal. Just going to have to save it for next week. And Paula, if you really need to know, like if your coupon's about to expire, PM me. I'll be more than happy to tell you what I know. I mean, it's nothing that anybody doesn't know anyway. It was just more of I put it into practice and saw how it plays out and just how much there is to make. Oh, okay. And all right, this will be the last question. We got one more here. Yeah, and Charlene, just her last thought, one thought was she charges for the convenience. So there you go. She puts the effort into it. She makes it easy for you. She's going to charge for it. All right, last question. Elizabeth Lytle says, how do you present your bundles? Straight poly bag, box, or a more gifty presentation? I go simple. I'm not, I said cellophane earlier, and if you want to go for it, you're going to wow your customer. I'm going to go with something simple. I'm going to put it in a box. I'm going to put it in a bag. I'm just trying to get the stuff out. I am not, and if you want to go a little more expense, you can maybe do a gift box, which will still give you a box, which is easy to and convenient, but it'll make a nicer presentation. You could go that way. I use cardboard boxes and poly bags. I am not getting overly done about the bundle. People are going to get their products. Out of those 50-something bundles that I sent out in poly bags, I had one return, and I'm still not sure why it was returned, but I had one returned. So I'm not going to kill myself trying to give presentation. I'm going to make sure that their products arrive intact, that they are in satisfactory condition, And, as long as that happens, I'm happy. Yeah, you can never go. See, now, Ron, I'll disagree with you a little bit. You can never go wrong with wowing your customer. When you take the time to start doing what it takes to wow your customer, and it's still that one sale, it's not like they're coming back to your store. And then they're coming back to Amazon, but they may not necessarily come back to you. Now, if you think you can win that customer over, then maybe it's worth the extra time. Me, when I did 132 bundles and I needed to crank them out, I mean, I was down to the minute trying to figure out whether or not I should use self-seal poly bags or should I use my impulse sealer with like a bigger bag and just kind of chop it down as I go. I found it was a little bit quicker to use self-seal poly bags. So I skipped right past the impulse sealer even. I mean, I was shaving seconds and minutes anywhere I could just to get that stuff cranked out. That's just me. What about you, Don? How do you do it?
No, I do the same as you, Duane. Depending on what you're selling. I mean, if you're doing a shampoo and a conditioner together, then you throw them in a poly bag. The one bundle that I have, that actually does include a bowl and a whisk and a grater. It's a little bit bulkier, so I put them in a box.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I mean, if it, I'm sorry, I'm going to do what's convenient for me as long as, again, it gets to the customer in satisfactory condition. Now, I'm not going to, throw a bunch of glass in a poly bag, which you can't do anyway, but, you get the idea. I'm not going to throw a bunch of stuff that's just breakable and going to get shattered and go, here, it's good enough. Well, no, obviously that's not good enough. You want to make sure the customer is happy when they receive it. All right, Ron, he said that's all he was saying. So, all right. All else being equal, wow is better than not. Yeah. Okay. All else being equal. Yes. If you can wow your customer in the same amount of time with the same amount of effort, then wow them. All right, guys. Don, thank you very much for coming on. I'm going to take you off now. I'm going to drop you off.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks, Sean.
All right, Don. Thank you. I appreciate the tips, and I appreciate it. You are welcome to come on anytime, sir.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Later, Don. Okay. Just to wrap things up, guys, I intended to talk about more. I told everybody we are going to talk about bundles and Kohl's flips and whatever else came up, and here we get through the bundles barely, and there's still so much more. I mean, really, there's so much that you can do with bundles. We didn't even really talk about ideas. All we talked about was policy. We ought to get into some of these ideas because we're coming up on back to school. We're coming up on fall, coming up on Halloween, right around the corner. It's Thanksgiving, Christmas. This is it, guys. It's time to get to work. And so for everybody, 83 viewers. Wow, that is a fantastic turnout. Thank you so much for being here. Bob Willie, as always, thank you for your input. Michael Flanagan, I saw you here earlier. Hopefully you're still around. Maureen, thank you for being here. Oh, time to beat the rush. Oh, Maureen, go ahead, get that plug in there. Yes, for anyone that has not been through a Q4, or even if you have and you just want some tips on what to expect with Q4 and maybe how you can handle it better, Maureen does have an excellent guide called Beat the Rush. You can go to her Facebook page. See if we can get it on there. Her Facebook page, Beat the Rush. It's all about Q4. It's a guide that I bought, and I was happy to buy it. It was very inexpensive. It was like $7 on Kindle, I think $9 to buy it. If you don't know what to expect, she lays it out, and she'll tell you, plan ahead of time. Make sure you are fully stocked in everything, and even how to make dinners that are more convenient. I mean, she's got a lot of good stuff. So make sure you're ready for Q4. You're right. Bob said it's coming. And yeah, Q4 is like death and taxes. It's inevitable. And it's the fun time of year. You'll work your butt off, but you can literally make as much in 3 months as you did in the 9 months leading up to it if you do things the right way. So, yeah, everybody, yeah, anyone that's got a group, anyone that's got a thing, you can post it over on the side. I'm not going to put links to it. I'm about to sign off. But feel free to put your stuff out there if it's going to help people. Let's help each other make lots of money. And hopefully you guys got a lot out of this. I appreciate all of you being here, and we'll see you next week, 8 p.m. Eastern, as always, So thanks again to Charlene, who was a wonderful producer, and everybody that was here, participated. Robert Watson, Rob Walling, what's going on, man? I didn't know you were in the crowd. Don, thank you for coming on and sharing your thoughts with us. And thank you, everybody. Mike Brim even made it. Sweet. All right. Thank you, guys. See you next week. Bye.